Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. Hey, I got a good one for you today. I got a good one for you today. But before I get into the reason why I'm live streaming so late, I got to show you. I'm going to start off something with a big girl moment. Oh my goodness, this is hysterical. My friend sent me some wild stuff. This is this is too funny. Brace yourself. Brace yourself, because I see me doing something like this. Oh my goodness, just brace yourself. Oh my goodness, I see me doing it. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh man. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord have mercy. You can't make this stuff up. Oh my, a friend of mine, I couldn't do it. When I saw this, I laughed. I still laugh whenever I see it. She gave me another one. Oh my goodness. A big girl trying to get on the horse and the guys put Lord have mercy, it was too funny. Tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about some politics, but I'm going to hold it back a whole lot because this is Big Girl Diary is more fun talking about things, but I think this needs to be discussed a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm going to tie it into how we women too quickly talk about misogyny, and whenever uh, a man points something out that we do, we start screaming misogyny. And I'm not saying that all women do that, because we don't, but those who do, and a man is just simply saying, hey, you might want to check out your behavior because of, and then, you know, we get into our feelings, and then we want to scream back. Well, not scream, but say, well, you're a misogynist. And I want you to take a look at this so that you can understand why men point certain things out. Not and just watch.
Critics are slamming her judgment because of these clips. 6 years old, she is one of the world's youngest prime ministers and has been in office since December of 2019. But critics are slamming her judgment because of these clips that show her dancing with friends that were posted on Instagram.
Which one is she?
She's the one in the black, in the white jeans, doing a little bump and grind there.
Right there with her hand up.
Her hand up, having a good time. It looks like somebody's house. An opposition leader called the behavior unbecoming of a prime minister and requested that Marin take a drug test. She acknowledged that alcohol was consumed, but she said she had no knowledge of any drugs.
Okay. Now, let's first understand, this is going to be shocking. She's a Prime Minister of Finland. A Prime Minister of Finland. We all know what's going on over there in the Ukraine. We all know between Russia and Ukraine, and Finland is on a border of Russia. And she has been called the party prime minister. Now she's like, what, 34? And And there are some 34-year-olds who can go ahead and run a nation and do a great job. They're focused, they're on the ball. But there are some, and her name is Prime Minister Sanna. Sanna, I think I pronounced her name right, Marin. And she has a lot going on. OMG. She has way too much going on. And with all that way too much going on, it's not a word, but it is today. It's becoming an issue. I mean, I would say, let me bring up this thing. I would say it will become an issue. Let me take this off real quick. And then I'm going to take it step by step, and then you can make up your own mind. Do you think maybe she should have done things differently? Or if you think that it's okay, and que sera, sera. All right, let's take a look at this real quick. Now, she is the Prime Minister of Finland, Sanna Marin, and she was the one in the video. Let me switch this. She was the one in the video that was dancing and air grinding. Oh my goodness. I feel so bad for her. Oh my goodness, I do, because she deals with world leaders, and I know the world leaders have seen this, and when they look at her, they're not going to see her as Prime Minister Sanna Marin. They're going to look at her Prime Minister, Party Prime Minister, and I believe she's going to have a difficult time being taken seriously, because whatever inroads she made, however hard she made, no matter how hard she has worked for the respectability, because being in politics on that level, women have to work harder. And I could only imagine Angela Merkel, like, you young lady. All right. And I went in deeper on my other channel. Now here's the interesting part. I didn't mean to put the police in there, but the police refused to investigate this. The controversial clips of the 36-year-old, despite receiving strings of complaints. So a lot of people were complaining. Police is like, I'm not getting in it with the Prime Minister. Just not going to do it. Miss Marin admitted that the sexy snap of her friends was taken on July 10th at Casaranta, her taxpayer-funded seaside residence in Helsinki. Taxpayers. She said she and her pals headed back to the palace after attending Bruce Rock Music Festival when the duo seized a photo opportunity. It featured the familiar blue background Marin often sits in front of when she's conversing with global powerhouses in European Union. You're going to see what I'm talking about. I'm getting ready to show you. Oh my goodness. All right. Things got steamy after a group headed to the sauna after a swim continued to party. Now, partying, there's no problem with partying. There isn't any. I did not mean to do that. Now, look at the background. This is what they were talking about. That's where she sits and she talks to world leaders, and The Finnish PM apologizes for allowing the inappropriate image to be taken, but again, instead, she was entitled to a social life, and she is. She's entitled to one, but we're going to go into just a little bit. One of the women lip locked One of the women lip locking has been identified as a social media star, Sabina uh, Sarka, 33. The glamour former model expressed her deepest regrets for posting the image on Instagram post on Tuesday. This is the problem with being a party prime minister. Nobody pulled her aside and said, "Hey, Sabina, don't do this." Now, right there on the right side is her friend Sabina. On the left side, if you look to the left of black and white, on the black, that's the Prime Minister of Finland. The one next to her is Sabina, who put the photo up there. In recent days, she revealed in an Instagram story that she had split up with her husband, Aussie Vikimaki. Marin, known as the party prime minister for her more relaxed approach to government, took a drug test on Friday, paying it for herself, according to the government press release. That's good. Marin, who was just 34 years old when she was elected to office in 2019, became one of the world's youngest heads of state, defended her actions, saying that all she had done was dance and sing with her friends in a boisterous way. A separate video that was posted by Finnish tabloids last week appeared to show Marin, who was married with a young child, dancing intimately with a mysterious man at a nightclub to the Black Eyed Peas' "I Got a Feeling." Now, we have our own Madison Cawthorn on the left. Now, he was, at that time, he was like 24, and he was a Republican of South Carolina, and his behavior became so erratic because he was in a car accident and had a traumatic brain injury. That's not her issue, but it was his issue. So he had 1 year, one term, and he was voted out. It got too wild. But she, on the other hand, runs a country. And that can be an issue. Oh, wait a minute. Because let's look at this. Finland and Russia are right next to each other. So if she's a party prime minister and she's relaxed and she governs in a relaxed manner, Putin is not that type of person. So there are so many problems here, but I'm not going to get into deep, just little tabs here and there. She is the youngest, or at least one of the youngest world leaders. Hey, Shauna, could you check on your grandmother and see if she needs some water? Thank you. And give her cough syrup. Sorry about that. She's the youngest in the entire world to run a country. And I think maybe by her being so young, I think she was like 34 when she started. 34? Yeah. Among a country. Now, I'm not quite sure of the political setup, whether she has people around her advising her. I'm pretty sure that she has some people, I don't know if it's the level of um, Canada or England or even the US. I'm not quite sure. But I think somebody should have pulled her back saying, hey, Sabina, don't do that. Um, Let me see. Now, and she, by her being young and wanting to be around her friends and also having all these ideas that you can run a country, and she's running her country. I haven't looked in too deep as far as the policies that she had put into place and how she's connecting with other world leaders. Man, I just don't think that they're gonna look at her the same when she's sitting back there with that blue behind her, knowing that which. Oh, poor woman. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My goodness. My goodness. Poor woman. Oh my goodness. I don't know how she's going to dig herself out of that one. But she, her friend Sabina. I mean, yeah, Sabrina. Sabrina. What would possess her to put that on social media? What was she thinking of? I don't think she was thinking. I just think she was in the moment of feeling and hey, this is cool. We're at the Prime Minister Palace and yada 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 yada. It always takes one person who doesn't think. No one else did it but her. Yeah, but out of all of this, what really concerned me is this. And this is what I really would like to hone in on. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm doing this video. And I'm doing this. I'm honing in on this point because we, especially women, we really need to learn how to look at ourselves critically and not emotionally and not all this other stuff that we do. It took me a long time to beat myself out of that. But we have to be able to really look at our behavior. We have to. Because if somebody points something out to us, and then whenever they point it out, then we get offended, especially a man. And now you have women around the world dancing in support of the Prime Minister, Marin, for dancing. She's doing way more than dancing, way more than that. But but women are dancing in support of her, but they're not looking at the main point. They're not looking at it. The main point is just because men, a couple of men, I don't know how many, point something out about her behavior. Now other women are jumping in saying he's a misogynist. No, he's not a misogynist, or they're not misogynists. They're pointing something out that really needs to be looked at. She's a Prime Minister of Finland, and she's saying to the world, I'm a laid back politician. I'm a party prime minister. Do you really know what's going on to the south of you and who you're connected to? I mean, Ukraine is in a war. People are getting killed, and you're talking about being a party prime minister. Now, when Putin gets done with that, depending on what you do, and if you are realizing, oh, well, let me go ahead and join the EU or NATO, oh, then Putin's going to be right in there because you're too busy partying. You're not looking at the situation. You're not saying, oh man, I might need to put some people there. on the borders just in case. I don't know what Putin's going to do. I don't, just a thought. But for women to run around and say, "Oh, men are misogynist, hates women," no, 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 no. Just because a man points something out to women doesn't make him a misogynist. He cares, and he's giving a critical, constructive criticism. And just because somebody says something constructively to a woman doesn't mean he hates women. Now, he would really hate them if he ignored it and let it go. That would be misogyny. But when you point something out, say, hey, you might want to clean up that behavior, and this is the reason why, and you take offense to it, then you might want to look at you, especially if you are unable to take criticism or unable to somebody to point something out about what you're doing. Because if you're running around thinking that your butt don't stink, oh, you got a rough one ahead of you. Oh my goodness, you're gonna have a rough one. And the scary part on that one is somebody's gonna marry you with that attitude. And you're gonna raise children with that attitude, not knowing how to be able to take criticism. You're gonna have to. Being in this world, being alive, you're gonna be criticized. So you either get tough skin, roll with the punches, or you fold up and you fall apart. So these women who are running around dancing in support, let's say for an example, because she's a prime minister, she runs her country, and she's responsible. I think Finland has about 5 million people. She's responsible for 5 million people. And within that responsibility, she got to keep them safe. And she's running around twerking and dancing, doing all this other stuff because she wants to have a social life. Well, you got a war down beneath you. And you're a neutral country. Ukraine was a neutral country until Vladimir Zelensky decided, I'm going to become a part of NATO. I'm going to do that. And Putin's like, oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Warsaw Pact Agreement. Even though the Soviet Union no longer exists, you still signed the Warsaw Pact Agreement, and we're going to hold you to it. Zelensky's like, well, I'm going to become part of NATO, EU. And then the president or the prime minister of Israel, Bennett, said, hey, Zelensky, stop killing your people, make the agreement with Putin, and bring peace back to your country. I mean, I can really get deep into it, but I'm not. I'm going to keep this light. This is what Prime Minister Marin has to deal with. And she has her eye off the ball. Maybe her age has a lot to do with it. I hope it doesn't. I just hope by me being older, just, looking at her youthfulness, but her youthfulness will get a whole lot of people hurt and country taken over. But my main point was, just because men point something out to women does not make them misogynists. We got to stop that. We have to stop weaponizing misogyny and using it incorrectly. Because a man points something out to a woman doesn't mean that he hates women. No. Like your father. Your father tells you something, hey, you pull that skirt down before you go outside. Dad, you're a misogynist. You hate women. No. He wants you to pull your skirt down to keep you safe. Somebody's going to look at you and take advantage of you because you have your skirt up high and things can happen. But that's the reason why, did this live stream. I just thought, I'm like, oh man, I gotta talk about this. But that's all I really want to say about this. I'm doing a little political one because I said I was going to do something. Someone, I can't think of it right now, wanted me to do something on Brazil, and I am. The Brazilian president. That, man, I used to know a lot about Brazil. But I'm going to most definitely do that, look into see what the president is doing down there in Brazil and what's going on, and if the U.S. has something to do with it. The U.S. is everywhere doing something silly. Okay, but that first video of that big girl falling, oh my goodness, that was hysterical. Trying to take a picture. I don't know if she was a friend or she was a sibling or a cousin to one of them. She's sitting there falling and totally missed the picture. Luckily, somebody else was videotaping and they got it. Unfortunately, they got her falling all over the place on the sand. But on that note, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I need your help to help me get there. My subscribers, I want to thank you for rocking with me all this time. I do appreciate you so much. And I want to thank you if you like my content or if you think I'm totally wrong about the Prime Minister of Finland. Please subscribe, like or dislike, and tell me how you feel about it. If you think I'm totally off base and I'm being a stick in the mud, fine. Say that. Say, hey, BGD, you're being a stick in the mud. And if you think I'm right and say, well, you could have gone farther, say something. On that note, I want to thank all of you for stopping by. Bye-bye.